Hey Leo, it's around 5. Ooh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Leo. I dropped you. Come on. Oh, should, should I just should invest in a tripod. So oh, oh. Shit. Hi Leo, it's around probably around 6 a.m. March 6, 2021, and I'm in this small space here in my room in Korea, and I have unfortunately managed to lose you today. It finally happened. I bring you around everywhere, record my entire life, and today I accidentally left you in a photo booth in Apgujeong, taking these photos with my friends. I put it right in front of, on top of the camera that was taking this. So I have to call and try to retrieve you by tomorrow. I really hope no one else took it. And I don't want to lose you, Leo. Anyway, you are still out there, and I'm talking to you. And Leo is not just a physical form of the camera, but it is the concept and the system that I created. So that fittingly brings us to the topic of what I wanted to discuss, um, of the separation of, like, the redefinition of self-identity and the separation of our physical form from our identity, and along with that, the topic of the metaverse and um, the overcoming of our digital lives. I guess I don't know how else to explain it. Anyway, let's get started. Uh, so lately, I've been working on a project called Omni. The name might change, but the product is a essentially a virtual world creation tool and platform to explore these virtual worlds and experiences that other people have created, and be immersed in it instantaneously. So, in other words, it's a metaverse creation tool instead of the metaverse itself. And the metaverse, my definition of it, is a collection of like persistent virtual environments, and that isn't quite owned by anyone, and it's a digital representation of the physical world that we live in, and not this world, but many different worlds that are embodying virtual, or it's tricking us into thinking it's physical, but it's not. It's probably a really botched definition of metaverse, and I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. But what excites me is the concept of virtual lives, like, because the life that I'm living in, this world that I'm in 2021, is extremely, what do you call it, inhibiting. Where there's not a lot of, like, we're very much inhibited in what we could do just by the laws of physics and just nature. Uh, we're still struggling to create a full humanoid robot that can walk, talk for more than even an hour or something like that, because the battery dies out. We have to keep refueling our cars. We need to recharge our phones. We need to recharge all these things. Like, all electronics need to be recharged. Why can't we have everlasting batteries? Why can't we have whatever? Like, because it's hard to do these things in the physical world, that we're in the to obey the physical laws that exist in the physical world. And that's all erased. These rules are gone in the virtual context. Anything you could possibly imagine is possible in the metaverse. Not just the metaverse, but just in these virtual worlds. So I want to do my part and dedicate a large chunk of my life into making that possible. And it's inevitable, but I want to sort of package it. I want to create the ultimate tool to allow that to happen and package it in an intuitive way that people could experience. Anyway, that's that. But right now, if you think about it, our digital lives are very separate from our physical lives in the sense of when I'm working on my computer and I work for several hours and I close my laptop and I shut my monitor off, I'm back in what you call in real life, right? IRL. And there's a very fine line between our digital lives and all the things that we're doing inside, like all the chats that we've ever talked or all the photos that we've ever shared or whatever videos, like videos we consume. These are our digital lives. And when we get away from our screens, the screen is the portal to this digital life that we have. It is not in our life. And that line is going to be completely erased. And our physical lives are just going to merge essentially into our digital life, and we can't quite tell. And that brings the question of also self-identity. Right now, if I think of like my friend Chungi or Brittany, I hung out with these friends today, I immediately think of their faces, right, or what they look like, because that's what we've been trained to do. And self-identity, our physical appearance is a big part of it as well. Some people are not satisfied with the way they look. Some people are overly satisfied with the way they look. You know, it's different. Some people believe they're born into the wrong gender or wrong skin or whatever. That's just what we know because that's the life that we're in. That's what we've been sort of trained and brainwashed into. Not by anyone, but just, just by living because we didn't have anything else. And I think that's going to really change because in the metaverse, if you could be anything, I think people will choose to be anything else. I think people will have different avatars and characters that they live under. There also will be exact replicas of ourselves, our actual physical appearances in virtual worlds because maybe we need to meet other people that way or something like that. But I think our sense of identity will become extremely fluid. And you start to know people by their personality more instead of what they look like. And I think that's a good thing. And we'll have completely virtual relationships. That's going to be a thing. I'd say give it maybe 10 years. Hopefully, that's my goal, but maybe 20 years. And then 30 plus years, this is just no nonsense type of stuff. If the virtual worlds are just, like I said, superior. Is this still recording? The virtual worlds, I believe, are superior to our physical worlds. And in that aspect, I feel like I always say this, I'm trapped in the past. In this rectangle, in the form of this video, I'm trapped in an era where we don't have that. In this, like this space. Is that about right? That is where I'm trapped. And I want to get out of here to where you are. But I think you could also think of it as an opportunity. I'm impatient. I know that it's inevitable, and I know of all the things that's possible and then some when we have this tool. But I don't have it yet. That's why I want to live in the future. But it's an opportunity because if I know what's going to happen in the future and it doesn't exist yet, I could be the one to help create it. And that's what I want to do with Omni. The big mission is, in my life, if I can help bring humanity forward by 50 years, if I can shave off about 50 years worth of human progress, or like compress it, right? I don't know, I just call it like, just bring it forward 50 years, that would be amazing. I know that's like a tall order, but with the metaverse, maybe if I can bring it forward 10 years, 5 to 10 years. We have all the tools necessary. The technology is sort of there. It's lacking like maybe 10 to 20%, but it's kind of there. We have cloud streaming and all these things. We just need more network infrastructure, but no one has just created a whole package, like a holistic package to make it happen. And I kind of see it, so I want to be able to at least try to do it. Or die trying, So I think I've talked enough about the metaverse. And maybe self-identity. Oh yeah, topic of time travel. So I should have used this as an example of why our virtual world is so much superior. So as you know, time travel is not possible. It's not, or at least where I live. But it actually is possible virtually, because say I want to go back into any era of American history, like the 1920s or 1950s, post-war America. I've always wanted to do this. I can't actually time travel, use time machine to go back, but I could have a virtual world entirely generated with NPCs or AI that walks, talks, and breathes exactly like people back then and dresses like them. And for all I know, I am in the past. Like, it doesn't quite matter if it's real or not. If I feel it, it is real. And that's like I guess, a whole different philosophical debate. But I believe that if you can sufficiently trick someone, or myself, into thinking something is real enough, then it's no different than actually being real. So I think in the future we'll look back and think, oh, isn't it funny how we didn't think time travel was possible? Because it's totally possible right now. You can't change, like, time travel in a sense, you can't go back and change like an event that was going to happen. Or like if you like messed up with a girlfriend, you can't time travel back and like make it happen again. But you could run simulations for sure. Like that's going to be possible, um, as long as there's AI powerful enough to do that. See, these are all the things that I'm missing out on. I can't even sufficiently record my life. Like even recording this, I wish I could record it and play it back any time, but I can't. And I just want to get out of this rectangle. Am I missing anything that I want to talk about? AI is like a whole different thing. Maybe I'll record that right after this if I have enough energy. Those two things combined, the metaverse and AI combined, will be incredible. Life as we know it, I can't quite stress this enough. Like life as we know it is going to be flipped upside down when we have proper augmented reality and virtual reality. Again, anything you could possibly imagine is going to be possible. And even a step further when we have human brain computer interaction, brain AI interaction, then it's even beyond that. I guess the whole topic of it, everything will revolve around that central topic of if it feels real, it is real type of thing. You could be laying in a bed and feel like you're in an experience skydiving from Earth or from like space. If you can sufficiently trick your different sensory inputs into feeling that way. Or you could even do that with dreams, maybe. You can reverse engineer how dreams work, because in our dream it really does feel real, right? And sometimes we even remember it like it's real life. That's the next frontier. So after the metaverse and all these things in virtual reality, it's really about brain jacking. And then there's also the topic of permanent consciousness, separation of mind and body, which I also think could be possible. Well, with that said, I'll end it here. I'm really sorry, Leo, that I lost you today. I will do my best to retrieve you. I think people are fundamentally nice, so hopefully no one has stolen it. And I'll be reunited with you. Goodbye.